Yeah, this is Bane Van Rahel. Please like and subscribe. Do you know what? I remember going into the scrubs, yeah, and there was paedophiles, yeah, paedophiles in there, yeah, and our job was to find them, check them out, to get them out, yeah, to find out who they were. I mean, me being sexually abused as a kid, anyway, made things even worse. It was like I was like an animal for them, you know what I mean? I wanted to hunt them out, yeah, and that's what I'd done. I used to hunt them. I used to look for them, and I'll get that feeling, yeah. And then go down to my mate who worked in an office with the people and find out who these people were, yeah. And then we'd find out who they were, yeah. Mate, and once we found out who they were, they was in trouble. You know what I mean? Because paedophilia, anything like that, anything to do with kids, anything to do with bashing women up really as well, you know what I mean? Didn't hold him with that at all. And we used to find out, mate, and we used to go in themselves and we used to smash them to pieces. I mean, smash them to pieces. That is what I love to do. I love to do it, you know what I mean? Just smash them to pieces. Find out who they are. And it's the worst thing in the world, yeah? To go into the scrubs or into any prison, right, and walk along the landing and be told that there's a paedophile or a rapist just come in and he's being looked after by the screws, yeah? He's being looked after by the screws. He's put in a certain cell it's quite hard to get to. Yeah, but we got there. We used to get there, mate. We didn't used to like about. We used to get to them people. You got to get to them people. Them people you're living in a prison, yeah. They can't get out of that prison. They can't get out. They can't climb over the wall. They can't do that. They're in there, and mums and dads outside, yeah. Mums and dads outside, brothers and sisters outside, aunties and uncles outside, want them people hurt, yeah. The bad ones are kept down the seg unit, yeah, downstairs under the prison, yeah. They're the bad ones. But now and again, they slip them up. They slip them up to the wings, yeah. And you got that feeling. Yeah, that when you see them, you know who they are, yeah. Because usually they've got a right job, funny job, back round the screws. They've got a job where they're making teas and in the library or in the around the vicar or something like that, yeah, them sort of jobs there. And you've got to get into them people and find out who they are because they're looked after. A lot of them are looked after by the screws, yeah. But now and again, you get good screws, mate. You get good screws that are half mighty cod. They say, look, Ray, mate, there's one coming in last night, you know what I mean? And he's on the fours. And that's all they have to tell you. He's on the fours. And you walk about, mate, and you see him. You suss them out. But listen, I've seen guys in there you'd never ever believe that they were paedophiles or rapists. You'd never in a million years think of it. People look like us. You know, you think you're proper people, you know, like walking about like all chaps, tattoos, big chaps, tattoos on their faces and all that, yeah, and they're paedophiles. You know what I mean? And you find out, mate, you get them straight away. We used to get them, maybe take a couple of days, used to get them, and when we got them, mate, and we go downstairs to our mate and I say, listen, go and check this out, go and check that out, go and check this out, go and check that. Listen, do you know what? When I was in Albany, yeah, there used to be loads in there, honestly. And we used to get them most times, like 9 times out of 10, we used to get them in the cinema. Well, the cinema in there was in the gym, in the gymnasium, yeah. Put all the chairs in the gym, big screen up there, bump, crack on. And we used to do them with pencils. Sharpen their pencils up, whoop, in the back. Give them in the back, whoop, in the back, jab them up in the back, you know what I mean? Whap, whap, what, 4 or 5 times. Don't carry a knife in there. Just a pencil, you know what I mean? A pencil shot. Whoop, whoop. That's enough. A pencil. Don't carry no knives in there because a knife's quite hard, you know. So it happens if something goes off and they're looking for you, mate. You've got a knife and you're in trouble, yeah. But a pencil, you've got good chances. You know what I mean? Give me the pencil. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Give me the pencil in the back. Listen, it ain't my game. The stabbing game. I'm not into that scene. But when it comes to them people, it's got to be done. Do you know what I mean? It's got to be done. They shouldn't. I don't know why they don't build a prison, right, and put them people in. Why they got to mix them up with us people? And do you know what I mean? It's just like, I mean, you listen to people like Frankie Fraser, and they get, even Ronnie Benders. You got to listen to the old people, the old school, yeah, right? And listen to them people, and them people never, ever, 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 ever left their letters hanging around. Because in my days, right, when I first went away, there wasn't no phones. It was only letters, yeah, letters. And now and again, you'd be lucky to go in the box and get a phone call or something like that, yeah. But it was all letters. So your letters come in. You put them under your bed in the box. You go out. You put your pictures on a picture board. You go out there. Someone slips in there, sees your wife, goes under your thing, gets your letters out. So what you should do is take your address off the letter. Take all your photographs off the board, because Frankie Fraser, Ronnie Bender, all that lot, Chibs, is every sort of them people. Ronnie Malloy's, all them people, mate. You know, all Mickey Greens, you know, Tony Edlunds, all them people, you know, Tony Lawrence, they never ever kept a letter in their cell. They never ever kept it. Let's just say to me, Ray, take your letter, rip it up, mate. You don't want to see it again. Once is enough, yeah? Rip it up. Photographs, you don't put up on a picture board. It's hard. It's hard, you know what I mean? If you love someone, you want to keep it up, but you've got to take it down. You've got to take it down. You've got to put it somewhere that they can't find it. You know, and there's so many about. Honestly, we used to, mate, if they was in trouble. I mean, I never see many, I've got to say that, I never seen many in Chelmsford Prison. Chelmsford Prison was okay like that, you know. Chelmsford Prison, there was a couple of people in there, yeah. Ken English, I think they changed his name. He was a Jersey rapist, but he mucked about with a Ouija board, and he was bad. When they got hold of him, he was like all grey and he was mucked up. The Ouija board ruined him, or whatever. Someone done something to him, more like he drugged him up. You know what I mean? More like giving him plenty of drugs in a cup of tea or something like that, and he's got off his nut. Yeah, that's more like what happened. Yeah, but there's a lot that they do slip them in. I mean, they slip people in there who've done 10, 15, 20 years. You know, I remember walking around the scrubs, yeah, and I think I've done quite a bit of bird, and I was being reallocated or whatever it was, and we was walking in the exercise yard. Listen, I ain't racist, mate, yeah. All my girlfriends are black. I don't like white girls. I want to white girls black. A lot of my mates are black, yeah. But walking around the exercise yard, and there was this yardie guy, yeah. He had dreads on. He had these dreads, more or less come down to his knees. I'm not joking, flat. There was flat dreads, and it stunk. His dreads stunk. I forget his name, yeah, but he was a really, really, really bad rapist. He'd done about 19 years, mate. Do you know what I mean? Really bad rapist, and I forget his name. People on my podcast might even know who he is, but mate, he got obliged. After 19 years, he got well obliged. They stabbed him up something terrible. They stabbed him up boiling water. They put salt. They put sugar. They put everything in a jug, and whoop, done him, mate. They done him, mate. They were done him, especially with the sugar and the salt, because the salt just, I mean, it burns. Hot water burns. The sugar rips it to pieces, but the salt, it stings. I mean, it was like in a bad way. They chucked it all over his face, all over his front of his body. He was lucky to survive because it burns right into you, mate. You know what I mean? He was lucky to survive. Well, not really, because, you know, I mean, I don't know if he ever got released or what. You know what I mean? But after doing 19 years, and to get really obliged like that, but there was so many in there like that. You know what I mean? Who've done. You know, listen, if you raped a child or molested a kid, well, you're a paedophile. It don't matter if you've done 30 years, you're still a paedophile. It doesn't matter, you ain't changing. You ain't changing, you are what you are, yeah? You ain't changing. So therefore, the only thing to do with you is to make sure you don't ever hurt a child again. Right? And the only way to do that is to crush whatever they've got whatever they use. Yeah, elbows, fingers, anything you can just smash them to pieces. Because them people ain't worth living, mate. They ain't worth living. And there's loads of them doing big birds. And they're thinking what we do is let him on the wing. He's done 10 years, 15, you let him on the wing, he's sweet now. But not when we was about. When I was with Billy Williams, yeah, fair play to Bill. He was only doing a little sentence, mate. He was only doing a little sentence. I think I was just finishing off in a sentence. And Bill, I mean, really, I mean, even me, really, I was just finishing off. But who cares, mate? You know what I mean? But Billy Williams, don't worry about that, mate. Me and Bill worked it together. We'd find them. We had someone in the allocate who allocated people up. We had them in there in the office. We had that all sorted. Billy Williams didn't muck about, mate. Proper guy. The guy can have a right fight. You know what I mean? And he'd be on it. He would be on it. I'd be on it. Right, can we go? I go, yeah, man. Let's go for it. And we do people left, right, and centre. That was our game. We weren't bullying. It's not about bullying. Because the guy's like 19 stone. It's not about bullying. It's about him molesting kids and bashing up women and raping women. That's what it's about, mate. Parents out there, mums, as I said, all the parents out there love us for doing what we've done. Yeah? Listen, the screws in there, certain screws, don't even look at it, yeah? But there's certain screws that want to put you away, that want to call the police, that want to put you in a VC. You know what I mean? Visit committee. They want to call the police in and get your big bird and another bird. But there's certain ones in there that don't. And they're the ones that's got to be done when they're on. You get to know them people because them people also mark your cards. Listen, in them places, yeah, in prison, we're the bosses. We are the bosses. We know the screws run the nick, but we are the bosses. We are the bosses, mate. When it comes, we are the bosses. We're in there, and we're in there to sort people out. We're in there. We do bird. People going, yeah, you're doing bird, you're doing this, you're doing that. You got to get out. And of course, you got to get out. Yeah. But what about mum? What about dad? What about brothers and sisters, aunties and uncles? What about them people that mucks about with their kids? What about them people? How do you think they're going to feel? No, mate. When I'm in there, I do what I've got to do. I ain't going to ever go back in prison. That's a certainty, yeah. But, you know, I mean, what I done, I learnt my lesson. I come out, I ain't doing no more villainy and no more niceness. But when I was in there, that was what I was to do. Listen, they ain't getting away with it with me. Anyway, listen, this is Bang Bang Rail. Please press the like button and subscribe. This one was a bit naughty, you know what I mean? But it's got to be naughty, yeah? All right, take care and have a nice day, yeah? Bye-bye.